Shalom, all praises to the Most High, Yehovah Yehoshua. This is Sounds from YYBY. Today is the Shabbat. All right, so now I'm gonna get straight to the point. We always talk about, when artists, how artists should be when they come to the studio, but we never talk about how the engineers should be with the artists. And I can't count how many times I don't, met artists and they want to record with me and they tell me about other studios experiences when they was going to other studios, or engineers falling asleep and all type of crazy weird stuff. And I'm like, damn, like they're not really about business, man. And guess what? I don't have a few bad apples too, man. I don't experience a few bad apples as an engineer with artists, with female artists and male. And believe me, man, it could be bad on both sides. It could be bad artists, bad engineers. And one thing about me, I make sure that I'm about business. So if it's anything outside of that box and it's still a problem, the artists got to correct themselves. But as an artist first, I'm gonna explain to you what I think engineers got to do, man. They got to better themselves as people, man, when it comes to business dealing with artists. And one of the number one things I tell people about that what an engineer should do, you should know how to communicate. You should communicate how you run your business. You should already present yourself how you run everything, from your prices to your rules. You be firm. You let them know, like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I don't do. Even if you got to put everything on flyers and break it down like how I do it, and you send it to them. Especially if they on the internet and they hitting you up and asking you questions on the internet. How much you charge and stuff like that. Be clear. Be straight to the point, direct. So artists can't have no excuses that they didn't understand where you was coming from before they come to the studio. And communicate. You got to communicate. You got to tell them your prices. Don't make it seem like you're trying to get over them. Just be on point. Just be about your business, man. Just that simple. Number two, this is a killer, man. Don't have a whole bunch of artists in your studio, man, when another artist comes to the studio. Like, come on now. Like, especially women. When a woman is coming to the studio, why you got a whole bunch of dudes sitting there looking like vultures in her session? When her session is supposed to be at 3 o'clock, but when she get there at 3 o'clock, it's other people still sitting there. It's other people still in the session. You're not done with their session yet. And or when that person comes to perform, record with you, you have 1,000 people in the studio with them that this artist don't even know. They don't know nobody. You might know them, but they don't know nobody. So all they can steal their ideas, they can steal their craft, they can steal everything from them. And you're allowing that. And then a lot of the time, so you're making them not feel safe at your business, man. And they won't come back. Especially women. You're not making them feel safe. You're not making the brothers feel safe either, because they like, do I gotta bring my scrap? So you might have rules say you can't bring no weapons and none of that. But at the same time, your studio look like a hot box. So that's not a good idea, man. That's not a good idea. Don't have other people, 1,000 people in your sessions. If you're gonna have somebody, let it be your second engineer or your right hand man or your left hand man, whatever, that who's doing business with you, who help maneuver the business of the studio while you recorded in the session. Number three, keep it clean. Keep your studio clean. The way it smells, the way it look. Some people allow everybody to smoke in their studios. I don't. I got an area where you can smoke at. Why? Because one, I don't like smoke. Two, you don't know what the hell people got in their stuff that they smoking. They ain't just smoking regular weed, and then on top of that, I don't like cigarettes. They lacing their weed up with everything. And when they smoke, you start smelling like it. So now when another session come that same day, now they walking into a session where it smell like everything. And they might be a person who don't smoke at all. We're not talking about drinking, we're talking about smoking. So end of the day, keep your studio clean. Keep it clean. The floors, the environment, the couches, keep it presentable. That's very big. That's very huge. You'll want to keep that. So number four, always make your artists feel comfortable, especially women. Make them feel comfortable. Make them feel like, this is their second home. especially if they're about business. You know, when artists want to come and not be about business, I don't give a damn about what they talking about. They can get the hell out. You know, when they start trying to run game and they come with these negative energies, I don't play no games with none of that. You know, you play games if you want to, but when they come up, when they're about their business and they come to spend their money with you, make them feel comfortable. You know, hell, like especially women, you want to make the men feel comfortable too, because period. But women gotta understand that, you know, they can't protect us like we could protect them. That's just true facts. So when they come, make them feel comfortable, man, in the studio all day. If they sing, provide some green tea or something. Do you got incentives? You know, especially if they paying good money, provide incentives. You know, just like I do now. You know, if they wasn't paying no damn money like that, when I was charging cheaper, I wasn't providing incentives. I wasn't giving you that if you ain't really paying no money. But if you paying good money for a session, then you know, I provide those things. The more you pay, the more studios will provide things for you because they appreciate your time. And at the same time, this is business, and they have enough money to provide other things for you because you're not being cheap to invest in yourself. All right. Number 5, hear out the artist. Understand the artist first. Don't go in and try to, oh, you do this, do this, do this, do that. You got to do the boom, boom, boom. No, what I do, I feel the artist out. I asked them, I said, hey, well, you know, I asked them a few questions, you know, to see if they got studio experience. If they don't have studio experience, then I already know what to tell them. But if they got studio experience, I test them. I see what they got. So once we set everything up, do the mic check and everything, I just press record to see where they're going to go at with it. Real artists know it's a proper way to record. Artists with no experience, they think they just rap from the beginning all the way to the end. And if they mess up, they say, nah, just keep that. That's artists that's not experienced. They're not taking their music serious. They don't understand that quality what sells. So you can tell they don't have no experience. So you have to guide them and hear them out. And then now if you give them pointers and they don't want to listen to it, then that's not an artist you want to deal with, man. Just go ahead and let that session go because, you know, y'all got to hear each other out, man, because in that case, they should be recording themselves if they can't hear nobody out. So you got to hear the artists out. Hear them out. See what they want. You know, see what they need and everything. Understand what they need. And like the same number 6, what I was telling the artists, this same thing for the engineers. Again, it's communication, but we talking about communication with the music. Communication with the music far as finding out what they need. I experience some artists where they expect you're supposed to know what they're thinking, what they want. Like, for example, they say, hey, mix my song. Well, if you just say mix my song, then an engineer going to mix it to what they think it should sound. But if you want your music to sound a certain way, then you present a reference track of something that how you recorded before, or a song that's out in the industry that you like, and you wanted to sound familiar to that. So now, that's what the engineer should do. When you realize they don't have no experience or something like that, you say, hey, you know what, artist? If you want to sound a certain way or, you know, a certain type of way, give me a reference track of your music so I can get an idea where you're going at with it. Because if you just ask me, hey, just mix it for you, then I'm going to mix it to what I think how it should sound. And sometimes a lot of engineers know how you should sound. But end of the day, the artist is paying the money. So if they want to sound where they sound, even if it sound horrible as hell or it sound good, that's what it is. Because if you tell them, you can only give your advice, give them Jews. If they don't want to receive the Jews, that's on them. If they want to rush their music, that's on them. You love it, I like it. But we as engineers, you want to try to, you know, put that information across as much as possible to try to help them and guide them, especially the ones with no experience. So that is a few things, man. Oh yeah, another thing, what I said earlier. Yeah, I mentioned the prices and everything. The last thing again, number 7, like I said before, and number 1, communicate. Communicate, artist and engineer, and I guarantee that it will flow good. If everybody coming trying to run game and trying to get over, it ain't gonna happen. The session won't flow good. All right, this is YYBY. Peace.